All around me there are signs that this summer will not last. Even though it will be months until the ground is once again covered in snow. The warmth is already fading away. And I'm not ready. So join me as I try to come to terms with the change of seasons, while I soak in the last of the summer heat and knit some new garments for autumn.
Hi, and thank you for joining me, or welcome back if you actually watched the first video. I wanted to talk to you a bit about what I'm working on right now. And while this video will be mostly themed around preparing for autumn and the colder weather, the first thing I'm working on right now is a hinterland dress, another one, which is obviously not really suitable for the weather we're having even right now, but I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready for the cold, I'm not ready for the snow that is to come. So I'm gonna pretend for at least one more project that it's not actually less than 10 degrees outside and that I have a fire going downstairs. And I'm just gonna make a swooshy summer dress. I'll share first perhaps what I'm wearing right now, which is the Laulu pullover by Sari Nordlund. I talked about it in my first video. This is the one I was worried about being too bright, but I actually really like it and I wear it a ton, as I said. Okay, the plan is first I'll share with you the dress I'm working on right now. I'll talk a bit about that, and then I will show you the plans I have for transitioning these dresses into the colder weather. So I'm planning on making a sweater, a vest, and some leggings perhaps, or leg warmers. I'll share that later. Because the truth is I've been wearing the first hinterland dress I've made a ton, which I wasn't expecting.
Usually I'm more likely to wear trousers and a sweater.
But it's so comfortable, and I really want to try at least and keep wearing them as long as I can into the colder weather. So that's what we're focusing on after the first segment of another hinterland dress. This one I've modified a ton. I wanted a V-neck instead of the scoop neck I made in the last for the last dress, and I felt that the opening was a bit too wide in the last dress, so I narrowed it a bit. And then the sleeves I changed also, so instead of the normal short sleeves, these are hopefully going to be flutter sleeves. I haven't actually sewn them in yet, so we'll see. I'm really new to sewing, but I'm diving head first, and I watched a ton of tutorials and I'm hoping it will turn out. And then the dress will be, or the skirt part will be a circle skirt instead of the rectangle which is gathered at the top. This one will be gathered a bit as well because it turned out a bit wider than the bodice part. I'm making it in, this is one of the sleeves, will be one of the sleeves, in this beautiful double gaze, which is way more drapey than the double gaze cotton it is, which is way more drapey than the cotton I used last time. What I really wanted to show you is the unfinished bodice, because when I tried it on, I just got really excited, really inspired for a ton of other projects. So, here you can see the V-neck, which turned out exactly as I'd hoped. And then I really like it. It's perhaps a bit wide under the arms, so I'm considering going in and just taking out a bit of fabric here. But would this not be wonderful just as a summer top? It's a bit too late in the season for that right now, but maybe next year. And then I was also considering adding, like if I just added the sleeves and then made it a bit longer. Perhaps in a dark red. I feel like it would be a lovely t-shirt. Or with long sleeves. I'm just imagining a dark green long sleeved v-neck blouse, or perhaps even a dress. And then I could wear it with a dark natural colored vest, I think. Surely that would be a lovely fall outfit for fall. So the plan for now is to finish this dress, to then share with you the projects I've planned, and then I'll be working on them for the rest of this video. Truthfully, I've already finished one, but I'll show you later on. So this is the finished dress. It took a while to finish it. I think now that I've actually gotten going, that sewing is a lot of fun. However, it does take a bit more energy and time to set everything up and get going. And I haven't had that much of either these last couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm very happy with the finished result. The change, I'm not really sure if I can call it a Hinterland dress anymore, since I've changed basically everything about it. I'm very happy with how the changes turned out. So it feels quite freeing to just change up a pattern and do your own thing and make it how you've imagined it, to make it how I've imagined it. That feels quite good. And now I'm really inspired for a ton of other projects. But we'll see when I get to that. It's easy to come up with ideas, but it's sometimes more difficult to actually do them. It just takes... I find it quite difficult to estimate how much time something will actually take. And it's usually more than I thought. But yeah, I'm really happy with the v-neck. The depth is exactly as I'd hoped. As I said, I just guessed, but I'll try to show you some footage of the pattern pieces. So if you want to try and make it, that you maybe can. I'm not an expert at all. I just guessed, as I said. But I'm happy with the depth. It perhaps turned out a bit crooked, which is expected when you're doing something for the first time. I think those kinds of things you usually notice more as the person who made it. I don't think anyone else would pay much attention to it. So, who cares? I'm a bit more unsure about the sleeves. I'm generally quite happy with them, but the armhole is a bit deep. I'm not sure why. As you can see, this is for me, and then this is the dress. I'm not sure why. I didn't have that with the last dress I made, but I'm thinking because this fabric is a lot more drapey that it perhaps stretched. It's not nearly as structural. It feels so comfortable though. It's so very, very soft, and I think it looks better as well. I thought the other dress was perhaps a bit, I don't know, I was looking for something flowy and that wasn't really it. So I'm happy with it. Otherwise, next time I would make the sleeves a bit less full as well. I think they're a bit much perhaps. But I'll link the YouTube tutorial I used, so you could try to do something similar if you like to, because yeah, I'm thrilled. I had to add waist ties again. I wasn't planning on it, but when I tried on the dress, it was very big, and I did not think it was too flattering. So I added the ties, and now I like it. It cinches in a bit more, and I like it a lot better. And then the skirt shape, I think, was very successful. It's a semicircle skirt. I think the shape fits me a lot better, and it feels so nice and swooshy. As I said, I've hand sewn the finishes on the neckline, the sleeve, and also the hem. And especially the hem took quite a bit of time. I did that 3 days ago by now, and it was a very, very rainy day, and I didn't really have anything to do at that point, and I was very tired. It was quite nice to spend a couple of hours taking it easy and doing something slow, and yeah, it's had the same feeling for me that knitting sometimes has, which I haven't experienced before with sewing really, because I usually find sewing a bit stressful. There's just this feeling that it has to go quick, but why? The next project I take on, I'm going to try to slow down a bit more and not feel quite as stressed. As I've said, I've been struggling a bit with the end of summer. My main struggle right now is that there are so many things I want to do, and I don't have the time or the energy to do everything. And then you feel like you're missing out on stuff. And I know the winter here takes a while, so it will be months before I can try again. But I actually really enjoy the quiet days where I take it a bit more easy, and I'm just gonna have to let go of some of the things I planned, I guess. Just put it in a box and keep it till next year. However, what I won't accept is that this dress will be lying in a closet for 8 months now, because it will be too cold to wear it soon. So let's get to the project I've thought up to make this wearable during the colder weather.
So in order to show you the plans I've been making in order to make my dresses wearable during the colder weather, I've been doing some arts and crafts. It was quite fun to paint and cut out these garments so I could mix and match them, because a goal of mine is to make my wardrobe go well with all the other pieces I'm having. So I've cut out the gingham Hinterland dress and the one I've been making in this video, and then some additional pieces that I'm hoping on layering in order to keep wearing them as long as I possibly can. So yeah, this is how it's gonna work. I'm gonna lay the paper garments on top of my little mannequin, and then I'm gonna attempt to show you the outfits I've been planning. So firstly, in order to beat the cold, I've been planning on wearing some base layers. I have a long sleeve black t-shirt that I'm thinking is gonna work well for this. I didn't make it myself, and it does have a bit of polyester or polyamide in it, which is not ideal for me. I prefer to have my clothes be all natural fibers. So longer term, I am hoping to knit a long sleeve t-shirt. The specific pattern I'm planning on is the Bella Notte Blouse Light by Emily Pallasgaard. But we'll get to that later in the season. I'm gonna experiment with the clothes I have right now in order to see if it's working. The plans I have. I don't have a pair of leggings that are comfortable right now. So for that, I'm planning on making the limestone leggings by So Liberated, but that will also be coming later in the season. And even just those two base layers with the dress on top of it, I think will be quite a good start on layering. For now, I'll be wearing some leg warmers that I have to test the outfits out and to see how I enjoy wearing them. And then the first thing I'm going to be working on is a sweater. I'm going to be working on the Capelan sweater by Albina McLaughlin in handspun yarn I showed you in my last video. I was originally planning on making the Junction pullover by Andrea Maury, but I've changed my mind and now this is what I'm planning on doing. I'm thinking it will work quite well. I'll be making it quite cropped, and then it will be a nice light layer on top of a dress. And then the next garment I'm planning on making for this video is the cutting edge vest, also by Albina McLaughlin, that I've already started on, also in handspun yarn. So I don't have enough yarn to make it longer, so this will definitely be cropped. And then we'll see how much I enjoy wearing vests, because I don't own one right now. But I'm thinking, at least on the paper cutouts, it's looking quite nice, I think. Now let's see how I'm gonna be wearing my other Hinterland dress. Of course, the challenge with this one is the flutter sleeves, which might make it more difficult to layer sweaters and cardigans on top of it. So I'm definitely gonna be layering a long sleeved underneath this dress. And then I'm gonna try it with the vest, the cutting edge vest. I feel like the outfit worked quite well on paper, so we'll see how it works in real life. And then I might, if this works, I might make some more vests. I've seen some lovely patterns on podcasts and I've seen on Ravelry, so it will be really fun to excite with a whole new type of garments. But we'll get to that later on in the season, I'm thinking. And then I am going to try to wear it with the Capelan pullover as well. And then we'll just see how that works out with the sleeves. So for this video, I'll be knitting the Capelan pullover and the cutting edge vest, both in handspun.
Now I'd like to say that I then started working on my sweater, but by the time I got around to actually finishing the dress, I had already knit both the sweater and the vest I'd planned. For narrative purposes, however, let's imagine that I knit on this project during cold and rainy days while staring wistfully at the finished dress, dreaming of being able to actually wear it. Which, of course I did, except the dress wasn't finished, it was just a pile of fabrics at that point. But this is the Capelan sweater by Albina McLaughlin. Ooh, sorry for the lighting. I knit this in the handspun I showed you in my first video, which I was then thinking of knitting up into a Junction sweat pullover by Andrea Maury. together with some other handspun, but I changed my mind because I did not think that this yarn would complement the other yarn in a nice way. So instead I knit this sweater. I'm currently wearing it over the Hinterland dress. I didn't think I could because I thought that the sleeves would be too bulky, but I think it's going fine. Maybe you can see it a little bit, but it feels comfortable. So that's an unexpected bonus. Yeah, this was spun up from brown, a darker brown phenol. I don't think it was 100% phenol. It was some kind of mix with some other wool as well, I believe. I bought it at the market in February, so it's a while ago. I spent 100 Swedish crowns on this, so that's like $10, I think. I'm not sure about the conversion rates, but it's something like that. To get a full sweater out of it, it feels ridiculous. I'm so used to yarn being a lot more expensive, so I'm very happy about that. I cropped it a ton, of course, and then I'm not sure if I followed the pattern for the sleeves. I usually, once I get to that point, I just do my own thing and knit it how I want it to. It feels very, very comfortable. This yarn is quite soft. Let's see. After the last time I showed it to you, I replied the yarn. I'm not sure how you would describe it. So I applied it very loosely, and because I'm still learning spinning, so there's a lot to learn, and I found that when you apply it a little bit tighter, it's just way nicer to knit, and it holds up a bit better as well, I think. So I just put the skein of yarn on the, I'm not sure, yarn winder, is that what you say? I'll put in a picture. And then I just applied it through the spinning wheel, and that result was a lot better. I have some left over, so let's see if I can show you. I'm not sure if you can see a difference on camera. But yeah, I have a bit left over as well, so we'll see if I can use that for something else. The yarn was a bit quite uneven in thickness, so I started with the thinnest yarn, and then I gradually changed into the more thicker yarn. It was a bit difficult for the sleeves, and then I also used that feature because one of the sleeves turned out very tight. So I had knitted up to here maybe. I frocked the sleeve, and then I re-knit it in a thicker yarn, and now it turns out way more comfortable. So that was quite fun to use something that's actually maybe a fault, and then to use it to your advantage. I think that's quite fun to do. I filmed some footage of me picking some chanterelles in the Hinterland dress with this sweater, but now I've sort of changed my mind, and I actually don't think I really like that combination all that much. It's comfortable to wear though, so perhaps I shouldn't care that much, but it feels nice to wear something that you feel it feels better to wear something that you personally like, I guess. So I'll perhaps show you some footage as well of me wearing it with this Hinterland dress. And this is the finished cutting edge vest by Albina McLaughlin. I wasn't expecting to be knitting two patterns from the same designer in such a short time frame, but sometimes it just works out that way, I guess. I'm quite happy with the finished result, to be honest. Last time I was very unsure about it. I still am a bit unsure, it's just so heavy. I got a comment saying that I perhaps could have made some slippers, some felted slippers, and that perhaps would have been smart. But now I've already finished it, and as I said, I steeked it, so I cut the yarn, so I'm not able to frog it anyways. Yeah. This is also very cropped, because I was planning on wearing it over dresses. I don't really notice the prickliness with the long sleeves, I guess. And I managed to get it out of the yarn I had. I was sure I was going to run out, but I actually have a bit left over, so that was a nice surprise. I decreased quite heavily, and perhaps that made it last a bit longer. I didn't end up adding any ribbing to the neckline. I did add an I-cord to the back. I'll lay over some detail shots, I think, because I don't think I'll be able to show it right now. Because that one, the neckline at the back rolled a bit. I don't think that was in the pattern. I usually start off following the pattern, and then by the time I split for body and sleeves, I just do my own thing. Usually with quite decent results, so yeah, I'm not changing it, I think. The fun thing about making your own stuff is that you can make your own choices and make your clothes, and they are entirely your own, or at least that's the fun thing for me. And I very grateful to have a pattern to follow for especially the yoke part. I'm not quite confident enough yet to knit self-draft yoke, I think. But after that I just do my own thing. I think it's quite fun that way. And you get to react to the specifics of your project and your yarn and make it I think make it a better version than it might have been if you'd followed, held rigidly to the pattern. Of course, sometimes that might be the best way to go. It just depends. Do what you want to do. It's not that serious. Yeah. So it's now a couple of days later, but I wanted to give some additional information because I felt like maybe I didn't talk about everything I should have. I'm wearing, since this video turned out very themed around Albina McLaughlin patterns, I'm wearing the final pattern of hers that I've knit, which is my drop sweater knit in Sandnes garn, fleeted yarn. I'll write down the exact yarn and color down in the description box. So I didn't really talk about the yarn I knit the vest out of, the cutting edge vest. It was handspun yarn, Wermlands wool. And the thing is that because of, this is one of the first yarns I've ever spun, and I'm definitely still learning a lot, but back then I wanted to spin a thicker yarn so I could knit a cardigan, and instead it turned out very, very dense and bulkier than I'd hoped. and also because of that I had a lot less meterage than I planned. So that's why I chose to knit the vest instead, which actually turned out quite nice. And then I also wanted to mention that because there was a comment saying that I could have made slippers as well. I did originally use, because I bought a kilogram of this wool, and I used part of it to wet felt some slippers from the wool itself. They turned out not great, but it was fun to experiment with a new way to use wool. So I'm sure I'll do more of that in the future. So yeah, now we can cut to how the final outfit turned out and how the vest looks. So that's all the projects I have time for this video. I'm overall very happy with how everything turned out. I love the finished dress, although when you compare the clip of me first wearing it and then a clip of me after having worn it a couple of days, which I filmed in the forest, you can definitely see how the skirt has stretched. I did hang it up a day or more when I originally made it, but apparently not long enough. So I might have to go back and even out the hem. That would also improve one of the things that are less practical about the skirt, which is that it is actually quite long, which makes it a bit more... I mean, I will still wear it tramping around the woods, but it's not quite as practical as the first Hinterland I made. So I might shorten it a bit and then try to even out the hem at some point. Then I definitely need some leggings. As I said, I'm planning on making the limestone leggings by So Liberated. And then if that works out, I might also knit some pants or leggings or whatever you say, whatever you'd call them. I've seen some patterns that I could use. I have tried it once before I knit them in drops Lima, so that's 4mm I think I knit it on. This time around I'd like to knit it a bit finer. And then also the drops Lima leggings I made, somehow they don't really stay up. So they aren't the most practical. So this time maybe I need an elastic in the waistband, or maybe just the shaping didn't quite fit right on my body. So I need to change things up a bit, but that's for way later on in the season, I think. I have so many plans and things I want to do, so we'll take it one project at a time. and then we'll see where we get to, and then if I don't get to anything, I'll have something to do next year as well. But yeah, the sweater and the vest I'm definitely quite happy with. The only problem I have with the final outfit is that maybe it feels slightly costumey, but who cares? I don't tend to see a lot of people when I'm at home anyways, so I might just keep it for that. And I feel quite, it feels quite storybook-like, I guess, when I'm wearing it, which is quite fun. I have quite a lot of things I want to get to, as I said, but I don't really plan with a strict time frame in mind. I just don't want my crafting to feel stressful. So I have ideas and I'll get to them when I get to them. One of the things I want to do is a vest, knit another vest, and I want to spin for that as well, so that will definitely take quite a bit of time. And then I did make quite a good progress on the other projects I showed you in my first video that I haven't gotten to yet. The Druid sweater is nearly done. The spinning is also, the spinning of the phenol is nearly done, so then I can get going on the sweater for my boyfriend. And then I haven't actually worked more on the book club cardigan yet, but I have gotten the yarn. I got it this week, so I'll get to that as well. Another thing I wanted to mention is the completely unexpected response to my first video. It was just quite ridiculous. But thank you for watching and leaving all the comments you've left. I've enjoyed reading them, though I did get a bit overwhelmed when there were a lot of you commenting and watching. But I'm happy that the video I made was calming for some of you. Left a comment that it was quite calming for you and that you also got some inspiration. So that's quite fun. And I'm excited to make some more and see where it goes. I can't promise I'll be making these with any regularity. My life is quite unpredictable at the moment, so, and I also don't really know how long it takes me to make a video. So I'll upload when I have time, and otherwise I can't. So yeah, that's my video about preparing for fall or autumn. I never know which one to say. I'm not from England or the US, so I just have to pick one, I guess. Let's say autumn then. I still feel a bit sad that the summer is mostly over now, but I'm also quite tired, which I usually feel tired by the time after the summer, because the summer is quite intense here and there's so much you want to do. After the long winter, suddenly anything's possible, and then you want to do everything. And you get tired, so it will be quite nice to take. I do look forward to the slower rainy days, but at the same time, I already miss the warmth. But you know, the winter here is really, really beautiful, but it does get quite dark, and it does take quite a while. But I do have a lot of crafts I can entertain myself with during the long evenings. And I did really enjoy, a couple of days ago, I got to spend a while just sitting in the forest, and I did really enjoy the relative lack of mosquitoes. So overall, I think I'm more at peace with it than I was a couple of weeks ago, which is nice. Okay, so the final thing I wanted to show you before I leave you to some last clips of me preparing for autumn, this time not knitting or crafting related. But the last thing I wanted to show you is this work in progress that I started this week with some new yarn I got. I got 2 balls of Gladlopi, and the rest is leftover yarns from other projects. Because I felt like this video has been a bit, maybe too much browns and blacks and natural colors, which are lovely, but sometimes you just need a little bit of color as well. So yeah, let me know if you can guess what it will be. And then I'll hopefully show more of it maybe next time.